So why do technicians quit MSP jobs? I mean, because should be your chief concern as an MSP owner, because your staff is your success and you want people who are going to stay with you for years, ideally, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So let's look at some of the reasons why people quit MSP jobs. My name is Eric from Support Adventure. I'm here with Alex.
Hi guys.
He's a contract manager at Support Adventure and helps us out with these videos. He might be the first person that you talk to when trying to find MSP technicians abroad who will hopefully work for your company for years. Anyways, why do people quit? Well, yeah.
I mean, look, I've got a lot of experience with this. I deal with a lot of our contractors. And what we see most of the times is if there are unclear expectations and roles and structure, technicians don't feel secure. They feel a little bit chaotic. They don't know what their role is in the business.
They see different technicians behaving different ways. Some guy doesn't even write ticket notes properly in any informative way. Some other guy doesn't keep documentation. Some guy's always on site. There's no standard, escalations are like some weird sort of please somebody help me in a chat that also has cat memes and stuff like that. Yep. And it's unclear who's supposed to do what. Are they picking up the phone while handling escalation tickets, and are they having to do sales because people are calling in and trying to what is the role, and what's the structure around that role? How does work get assigned to your technician? How do they escalate work that they can't finish themselves, and how are they expected to document and track the time for that work? If that's unclear, it might be stressing them out.
Exactly. Have proper structure in place, written expectations, so they know how to achieve success in your company.
Yeah. I mean, it's really simple. Those things I mentioned, just techs want to be in a position where they can do great work on one issue at a time.
Exactly.
Focused on the issue, go as far as they can with it. If they can't solve it, hand it off to someone else who can in a structured way. And they want to know how much time they should log in your PSA every day. They want to know what is the standard they're being held to. What are they expected to clock off immediately at 5 p.m. or 5:30 when their day ends, or if they're working on an issue, should they stay late? Should they get paid overtime for that? All that sort of stuff. How are they and all the other techs held accountable to the standards that you have as an organization? If you don't have this, there can be sort of people who are seen as favorites, people who get an easier ride than others and stuff like that. But if you come in as an MSP owner and say, this is what you have to do to be a contributing member of this team, this is what we expect everybody to do, here it is in writing, then you'll take a lot of weight off a lot of people's shoulders, because they'll know what the deal is 100%. And they know that they're doing a good job.
Exactly. I mean, that's the most important thing. Is there a clear line of communication? So when the tech is doing a good job, they know they're doing a good job, and they can feel that sense of accomplishment and just a general sense of appreciation that they are doing a good job. They're ticking off the right boxes, and overall just having your end users being satisfied with the work that they're delivering.
Yeah, empower them to make people happy. Empower them to not just pick up a bunch of calls and help people immediately, but be handed tickets that actually have some, triage done and some basic information on the tickets, so that they can take a look, know what they're getting into before picking up the phone, calling someone, solving the issue. For example, that's one thing, technician calling. And so we have another video, MSP worst practices. I mean, it's just take note. You have to put them in a zone where they're happy. And then they should stay longer. And if you don't, they'll probably want to go somewhere where they are given the luxury of knowing what the deal is.
Exactly.
Okay, number 2, being treated like machines.
Yes, this is a big one.
What does that look like?
I mean, if you're going to pressure them the whole day, if you're going to expect them to complete 100% utilization on the timesheets, meaning that if they work in a 9-hour shift, they need to log 9 hours of time, they're going to burn out. They're going to feel the pressure.
It's should I raise a going to the toilet ticket?
Yeah.
For the 10 minutes I spent doing that, I'm going to get shit for this?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you need to create a office culture or a company culture where technicians have a chance to breathe.
They have lives.
They
They need a diversity of tasks. They need
Yeah.
times when sometimes the work is more intense, sometimes the work is less intense.
Mm.
Sometimes they can go and learn some new things and feel that they can go off and do so without the pressure of crushing 15 tickets a day or something like that, and answering a certain number of calls off the queue that's constantly ringing. That every time it rings, they feel like they have to drop everything and pick it up and help someone who hasn't been, screened for their issue or anything like that. Like people are not machines.
No.
They want a nice sort of like workflow. It goes back to the first one, which is unclear expectations, roles, and structure. Yeah. I mean, you could have a structure which is like you have to solve 15 tickets a day and log every minute you're at work, but is that unrealistic? Can you do it as the owner?
Yes.
Because like the best sort of policy for time tracking that I saw involves rounding up in 15-minute increments. So if you work on something for 5 minutes, you round up to 15 minutes. Then it's fair to expect them to log for a whole day of work. If them doing more, because you want them to do work. It's not about how much time they spend doing the work. It's important to see that if something suddenly goes to 1 hour and 15 minutes for a little issue that should be 15 minutes with another tech, you want to be able to track time to take note of that. And especially if you're billing clients for your time, you want to be able to have that. But have a policy for what they're supposed to be doing with their day that allows them to sort of be relaxed.
Exactly.
And not constantly watching, the numbers and knowing that if they don't achieve this pretty unrealistic goal, they're gonna, get fired. So if they're in that environment, if you're trying to get more productivity all the time from them, I mean, you might be barking up the wrong tree, because your best techs will leave into an environment where they feel that they can actually grow more, where they can actually focus more, and they can focus on the results, not the numbers.
I mean, and that goes hand in hand with our next point, which is profit-driven management.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to pressure your techs and just focus on what they can bill across to the clients, what the numbers they can run up in terms of billable hours, they're not going to feel like they've accomplished anything. They're not going to. You're looking at them like machines again. It shouldn't be about what the billable hours are or how much profit can you get. You should try to promote an office culture that it's inclusive. You appreciate them and focuses them as human beings rather than how much profit can you get.
Here's the secret, guys. We find actually being a premium provider with the best people and a relaxed vibe around your help desk, a low sort of ticket volume, and focusing more on proactive excellence than break-fix response times, and answering calls and tickets and stuff like that. Having that premium ethos with the best people giving the best service and empowering them to do that will actually make a business that makes more money than trying to run, a game where you're trying to sign up as many clients as possible with the most number of endpoints and dealing with the tickets and all that sort of stuff, and having, the least amount of techs take the most amount of tickets, and, the whole vibe around your company changes when you decide to be premium, when you decide to get the best people and treat them well. And if you want to have the best people at your MSP, you do have to treat them well, or else they will go somewhere else. So focus on being premium, providing the premium environment to the techs that you hire so that you're their best option, and you get good reviews and references, and when they come in from an interview, they feel it. This is going to be a great place to work. This company cares about me. It's really important to make a good vibe, because that extends to all areas of your business. And the worst is saying we need to work harder and earn more for me as the business owner. And just pay your people well.
I mean,
give them respect.
Be appreciated at the end of the day.
Appreciation, respect, I
think it goes on to number 4 is lack of mentorship and growth. I mean, it should be quite obvious, but no one wants to stay in the same position for the rest of their life. If you've had a good technician there for multiple years.
Nobody's got a tattoo that says level 2 tech
Yes,
forever.
exactly. Yeah. There should be a plan in place to allow them to grow and see, okay, cool, this is what I need to accomplish in order to move up in this company.
Yeah.
Often you'll see techs getting more and more discouraged and looking to leave if they've been turned down multiple times for wanting to grow.
If you are running that ticket grinder, like that's sort of like that machine that just is all about what they do, and they're solving the same issues over and over again. They don't even have a chance to scratch their head, and they're just solving ticket after ticket. It's always the same. Where's the growth there? Where's the learning? And why are you thinking like that of them, Give them a chance to, one of the biggest forks in the road for a technician at level 2, let's say, would be whether they want to go into management or they want to go into being like a high-level infrastructure tech. And you should actively be watching your techs and how they behave. Do they get more on the people side of things or the tech side of things?
Yes.
Because if they're more on the people side of things and their greatest joy is ensuring that the client gets the best possible service, that could be someone from management.
Yes.
If it's the opposite and they're talking a lot about automation, if they're talking a lot about how to make a system that will make sure that this ticket doesn't happen, maybe they're the super tech, but they're not going to be both usually. And it's really stressful to try to be both at the same time in the same workday, and very different focuses. And you should have examples of people who did succeed in rising in your company in a structured way, not just favoritism, but like in a structured way, they actually got mentored to go a certain path and provide increasing value to the company. And if you don't have those types of paths, if you don't open that discussion with people in at least an annual review, once a year, have this conversation, where is this going? How are you going to provide more value for the company? And how can we, as a result, be happy to pay you more money? If you don't say this to them on a yearly basis, I mean, maybe if you don't find yourself saying that, maybe you've got the wrong people and you need to level up in the way that you interview and select people. Or maybe you just haven't put enough thought into how your business is going to grow, scale, and what types of people you need occupying which types of roles to make that happen.
Exactly. And again, this goes into our last point, which is lack of stimulation and accomplishment. And just like the point before, if techs are doing the same things over and over and over again, they're going to get tired, they're going to get burnt out, they're going to get bored, and they're going to look for an opportunity elsewhere that allows them to grow.
Yeah.
And stimulates them so they can get excited. Because what you want is techs to be excited about what they're doing. If they're excited, they're going to go the extra mile, they're going to learn new things, they're going to be happy in the environment that they're in, and they're going to stay there for a long time.
A diversity of tasks will allow them to constantly learn new things, like research projects. So, I mean, you have to set your help desk up so that there's a load that ebbs and flows, and, the auxiliary tasks that you give them. Because like there will be quiet times, like I guess in the United States would be between Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and stuff like that. It's a pretty quiet time. There won't be that much tech work. Do you have a list of tech tasks, auxiliary tasks that can be brought in those quiet times that your techs can do, and that are things that are actually going to be exciting for them? Variation that's also going to provide value to the company. Learning a new virtualization stack, a new network switch, how to configure all of that sort of stuff, or looking at different ways to improve service, ticket notes, all aspects of service delivery. Do you have that all defined on a list so that people know A, what to do, so they're not just sitting scratching their head, and B, the number two thing is really like, is it going to provide value and career development in the company?
Yeah.
Yeah. And C, is it going to be interesting for them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, all these play a part in the hand. If you want the best techs for your business
And to keep them.
I mean, the best techs are going to have multiple other opportunities. So you actually have to win them over at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that all these boxes are ticked, and you actually provide an environment that they want to be in and grow in and ultimately succeed in within your company.
Or they're just going to go somewhere else and do something else for someone else.
Exactly.
Because, there's burnout that happens in the MSP industry. It's a fast-paced thing that can be quite stressful if the right structure is not set up. And yeah, people do jump ship. There might be another company that's offering more money. However, they might not take it if you provided the best environment for them because they love you and your company culture, working for you, what you provided them in terms of stability, security, peace of mind, opportunity for growth, and being treated like a human being.
That's a key point right there.
So thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks,
Subscribe
guys.
to Support a Venture. And if you want to hire great techs on contracts that should hopefully last for years, you can check out our website and fill out the Become a Client form. Catch you later.
Cool. Cheers, guys.